Okay, answers. This actually was on the last one. It just, what that means is -1/2 times -1/2, which gives us a positive 1/4. Okay, 9 times 6 is 54, but that's going to be not the appropriate way to do scientific notation. 10, but let's go ahead. Be 54 times 10 to the 15, 6 plus 9, but which turns into 5.4 times 10 to the 16. Okay, the same way we've been doing for quite a few lessons now. This one, letter C, what I did was thought about, okay, I'm going to add 1 to both sides, and that gives me 10, right? So 4W equals 10. So W in your answer key, W equals 10 over 4, which is 5/2, okay? I also thought about there are 4 2.5s, so it could, your answer could also be 5/2, okay? Or even 2.5, okay? Those are all appropriate answers. All right, convert 1.5 liters to milliliters, and we get 1,500 or 1,500 milliliters. 150% of 60. Well, 100% of 60 is 60, and 50% of 60 is 30. So together that makes 90. 60 increased by 50. So what we get is 50% of 60 is 30. We add that to 60, and we get 90. Okay. What we are talking about today is kind of about banking, and so this might be a good day for parents to participate in your lesson. I'm going to try to do it fast enough that you don't go brain dead, but I also am going to try and make sure we explain it. Okay, interest. When you put money in the bank, you know, parents say, put your money in the bank and save it. The bank doesn't just hold your money in a closet there. They actually spend it, which is a little weird. They spend it other places to make more money. They invest your money and they make more money. So in order to do that, they don't just take your money and spend it. They try to give you a payback for that, and they call that interest. So when you put your money in the bank, it can earn money just by over time, okay, without you having to do anything. In the olden days, or I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years ago, we used to make a lot of money by putting our money in the bank. There was a high interest rate back then. Okay, so let's talk about this. When you put money in the bank, we call that principal. So if you said, oh, I've got $500 extra and I'm going to save it, and you put that into the bank, then that is called the principal. Or if you borrowed $20 from your friend, that $20 would be your principal, the amount of money we start with, okay? Interest is the amount of money you make on top of what you already had, or the amount of money you have to pay your friend for borrowing it. Okay, so let's say you borrowed $20, but by the time you paid back your $20, you actually owed $30. That's called interest. That would have been $10 in interest. Okay, there are two things, simple interest and compound interest, and sometimes people have trouble understanding what it means. Simple interest is basically the money you make only on the amount you put in at the beginning. And we're going to actually show you examples of this. And compound interest means you get paid not only in what you put in, but you get paid on, if you made $20 in interest, if the bank paid you $20 extra over a year, then you get interest on top of the extra, okay? And it's hard to understand that without just going through and looking at some scenarios, right? Okay, I will try and be kind of brief with my scenarios. All right, here's an example of simple interest. Jordan put $100 in the bank on an account that pays 6% simple interest, okay? That means if she left money in the bank for 3 years, she would make $6 per year, and here's why. She put 100 in, she makes 6%. Remember, 6% is 0.06. So in her first year, she made $6. They just gave her $6 for letting them store her $100, okay? So that's great. She made $6 the first year. Then she made another $6 the second year, $6 the third year. So after 3 years, she made 6 times 3 years. She made $18. So it's basically, and she started with 100, right? So altogether now, she made $18, and she originally started with 100 that was her own. So now she has 118 after 3 years. So that's kind of cool, without doing anything, making $18, without having to do any yard work or babysitting, just $18. Compound interest, though, is a lot more exciting. But it looks like more calculating, right? You might see this and go, ah. Okay, Johnny. We've got Johnny here, and he found an account. He found a good deal where he could make compound interest. So he has his $100. Unlike Jordan, he found a bank that pays 6% compounded annually, okay? So how much does he have after 3 years? Let's see if he beats Jordan or not. Okay, so the total after 1 year. You know how he had $100 and he made 6% interest, which was $6. So at the end of 1 year, he has $106. And so did Jordan, right? She had $106 after 1 year. But now her new principal is $106. Okay, Jordan still has a $100 principal here. He didn't get to take that 6 and reinvest it. Okay, so 6% of 106 is calculated, and that's $6.36. So the second year, Jordan only made $6 more, and Johnny made $6.36. So he made 36 cents more than she did, because he got paid interest on that extra $6 from the first year. So now he has $112.36 after 2 years. Jordan only has $112, right? Then the third, so he takes $112.36 and is like, let's go another year. Makes another 6% on that, so 0.06 times that, and you get $6.74. Whereas Jordan only made $6 again. And that adds to what he had the year before that. So now altogether he has $119.10. Jordan only had $118. So compounding interest makes more money because you get to take what you made and reset and start with that amount. Okay? So let's try and do some examples. It says, complete this table that shows the value of a $1,000 investment growing at 10% annually after 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 years. Okay. After 1 year, okay, 10%, we probably need, and we're doing compounding annually. After 10% of 1,000 is $10, right? Let's just make sure we know that. 10% of 1,000 is is $100, okay? We move the decimal over, and 10% is $100, okay? So after 1 year, we had $1,000 plus another 100. Whoops, I'm having trouble writing. So you have $1,100 after 1 year. So that's pretty cool. See how if you invest more, you make more? $100 for doing nothing. That's awesome. Just being patient, right? Okay. So how now we get 10% of 1,100. Okay. In fact, what we do is actually multiply it by 1.1. Okay. The book shows us why, and I'm not sure I'm going to explain that because this video is going to go too long. We might talk about it next week. So 1.1 times 1,100, which is what you got. Now we've got $1,210 after 2 years. Okay, multiply that by 1.1, and that's the next year. So all we do is keep multiplying it by 1.1. And I will make sure we understand that. Here, I'm going to add maybe on Monday or Tuesday when we meet. Okay, multiply again by 1.1. And now we've got some change. So it looks like we have 10 cents there. And then multiply that by 1.1. And what we're really doing is adding 10% each time to each number, okay? And now after 5 years, $1,000 became $1,610.51. That's not a bad deal, is it? Okay, use a calculator to find the value after 12 years of a $2,000 investment that earns 7.5% compounded annually. Kind of like doing this, doing this like we did above, okay? But now it's going to be 12 years. So we're going to do what we did up here 12 times. Okay, you're going to take $2,000 times 7%, which is 0.075. Okay, and we're going to get a number. And I will show you. And we got 2,000 times 1.075. Okay, so with 7.5% interest after 1 year, we have $2,150. That's 1 year. We got to do this 12 times. Okay, so I'm going to just do this, punch these keys 12 times. So times 1.075. Okay, that's 2 times 1.075. That's 3 times 1.075. That's 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and one more time. Oops. 12. And we finish with, so you got to, it's really hard because you got to keep track of how many times you did. So my calculator there says now you have, which is nice, $4,763.56, okay? And that's the final answer. Okay. These are hard. It might be good to do this with a parent as well. Okay. Now we have example 3. Calculate the interest earned 9 months. Okay, and the annual rate is 6%. So 9 months is not a whole year, but the annual rate is 6%. So if you have $8,000 and you want to do times 6%, that would be after 1 year, right? But it's not going to be a whole year, is it? So let's figure out how much you would make if it was a whole year. You would have 8,000 times 0.06, and we get $480. So after a whole year, you would have $8,480, but you're only doing 9 months. I don't know why. You must have gotten impatient. So 9 months is what fraction of a year? It's 3/4 of a year. So you're only doing this for 3/4 of a year. So you only make 3/4 of that $480. So we're going to do 3/4 of $480, and we're going to cross cancel, multiply, and it looks like you make $360 after, which isn't bad considering you didn't do anything. But only waiting 9 months, you get a fraction of it, okay? They're throwing a lot of you all at once. They're throwing a lot of you. They're throwing a lot at you all at once. Okay, example 4, we're going to do a chart for this one, okay? An appliance store reduced the price of a $400 washing machine, okay, 25%. When the washing machine did not sell, they reduced it again, and we want to know what the final price is, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to do what we've done before. We made a chart, 2 columns, and we have the percent and actual. Okay, and we have original, and they're going to reduce, so minus change and new. Okay, what you started with, what we started with is 100%, and it cost $400, right? Then it was reduced 25%. So now we're looking at 75% of of the start. Okay, so we really want to know what it is after the reduction of 25%. So how do we do that? We do 100 over 75 equals 400 over x, right? Well, we can reduce this to 4/3, okay? So then we can do the cross product, okay? 3 times 4, 1200 equals 4x. Divide by 4 and we get x equals 300. Okay, so after this first sentence here, after reducing it, it's $300, not 400. But now the washing machine costs $300 and no one bought it. So they're going to reduce it again 20%. Okay, so that means we got to do this again. Okay, but now it starts at $300 and they're going to take off 20 more percent, which leaves us at 80%, right? And we want to know what the final is. So we've got another ratio problem. 100 over 80 equals 300 over the final price, okay? Well, we can cross out those zeros, which is always fun. And that reduces to 5/4. So we can do 4, the cross product. 4 times 300 is 1200 equals 5 times x. Okay, divide by 5, both sides. Okay, and 1200 divided by 5. Oh, I did it differently than them. They must have done decimals, is 240. Okay? So if you want to see another way to do it, you can look in the book. So it was $400 marked down to 300, then 300 marked down to 240. So what's the clearance price? Is $240. Okay? Oh, the only difference they did was they didn't reduce fractions. I don't know why they would do that. Okay. Practice set. Go ahead and try this. I know this is different, and see how you fare on it, okay? Okay, Hannah has $6,000. Good job for her. She's going to put it in an account paying 8% interest annually. Okay, so I'm guessing they mean simple interest because they actually didn't tell us. Okay, after 8 months though, I guess it doesn't matter because she's going to take it out after 8 months. So she's taking it out after a fraction of a year. Okay, so she deposited $6,000, 8% interest, 8 months, and then she withdraws it all plus her interest. How much money did she get to take out? Okay, well, let's figure out how much she would have made in 1 year. Okay, she would have made 6,000 times 0.08. And again, I said we can do that in the calculator. 8% of 6,000, and that is $480. Okay, but that's after a whole year. She didn't make it to a whole year. She did 8 months out of 12. So that reduces to 2/3. Okay, so 2/3 of 480 is how much she actually gets to have. So 3 goes into 48 16 times, so we get 160 times 2, which is $320. Okay, what fraction of a year's interest was earned? 2/3. So we can also circle that. Okay, so that's how much money she earned, but how much did she withdraw? She actually had $6,320. That's your final answer. Okay, that's how much interest she made. That's how much she actually has. So that's pretty cool. $6,000 after 8 months she gets to take out even more than that. So good for her for being patient. She could have been more patient, made more money though. All right. Maybe she had an emergency. Okay, television regularly priced at $300 was put on sale for 20% off. Okay. Then it didn't sell, so they reduce it again. So let's figure out what happens after the first sentence and after the second sentence. So I'm going to say percent actual, and I don't like having to write out all the stuff. I just know that we're going to have 2x3 box. I'm not labeling it all because I think we know now. Starts with $300 and that was 100%, right? We're taking off 20% and now we have 80%, and we need to know what 80% of 300 is, okay? So we can set it up like a fraction, like that, right? Okay, then we can reduce this, and that's 5/4, and now we have 5x equals 1200. Okay, divide by 5, and it looks like we have, and they do a little differently in the book. They're going to do it using decimals. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and get $240. Okay, so sold for $240. The solution manual does it a whole lot different, which is interesting to me because they do it the way they show you in the book. Okay, we're going to stick to this for right now. The book shows you a slightly different way, and I don't think we need to do that this year. Okay, so we're just going to stay here. Now, it didn't sell at $240, so it's going to be reduced again, another 20%. So now we have $240 is our 100, another 20%, another 80, and we want to know what that x is. Okay, so 100 over 80 equals 240 over x. We're going to reduce, so we get 5x now equals 4 times 0, 6, 960, divide by 5, and now we get 5 equals 192. Not 5 equals, x equals, sorry, it's late, guys. X equals $192. And so that is the clearance price of the television. Okay, I want you to see what you can do though. You can also say clearance price equals 80% of 80% of the original, right? The 80% of 80% of the original. The original when it started was $300. So if we look at that and turn that into a equation, it looks like this, right? Of means times, okay, 0.8 times 0.8 times 300, just by saying 80% of 80% of the original. So let's try that. 0.8 times 0.8 times 300. And hopefully get 192. Oh, and it worked. Okay, this was quick. These two were longer. These two are showing you how and why. And then this actually just takes an English sentence and then converts it, translates it into math, which to me is always faster as long as you understand it. Okay, that's it. Sorry this was so long. Your next one is a test, so you don't have to watch any videos, and we only have 10 more videos left.